Now my damn emotions has completely come over me. I'm needing you. I'm loving you too deep. Oh yes I am. Should have seen it coming. Got my heart beating much too weak. Can't control it. Can't let go of you, baby. You, baby. You, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Like I want to. Like I want to make love to you. Say you do you want to? Like I want to be in love with you. Say you do. I cannot wait to see Xscape December 2nd in Charlotte, North Carolina. I cannot wait. Okay. So, child, this is episode 2 of Xscape, still kicking it. Hopefully I can find the name of this actual episode, because they didn't show it on the the more info or whatever on the TV. So hopefully I can find the name of the episode. If not, oh well, it's just episode damn 2. How about that? Okay, in this episode we got a little bit more deep into Candy's. I feel like Candy's reasoning for not wanting to be in the group, and somewhat of what happened, as to why the girls debanded. That was old nasty drop down. Still using this pad. Okay, let me not stump the yard, so to speak. Okay, so it started off with Candy meeting up with Tan. And Tan she used to be an old member of Xscape way back in the day. Back in the day, if y'all watch their unsung on TV1, Tan was on there. Basically, it started off with Tan, Candy, Tamika, and Latasha in the group, and then they ended up finding Candy and getting Candy into the group. The manager ended up not liking Tan, and so they went on ahead and kicked Tan out the group. And because the girls, wanted their start, and they felt like, hey, this is they was getting ready to become big. They had to listen to their manager, so they listened to their manager, and unfortunately, Tan, was kicked out of the group. I remember seeing Tan on one of Candy's specials on Bravo. One time or a few times, I remember seeing her. Um, so yeah, I can't remember if she was likable or not. But you can tell she still holds a little bitter, a little moment. Um, with that whole thing. Let me see. So basically, they started talking about the whole group, and Candy was just like, you know what? You've been on them just as long as I have. Um, and like what you think about the whole thing, and I just wasn't sure about it, and you know how they is. And Tam was just like, child, you just never know how people intentions are, and one thing that really stuck out to me was she said, which I agree with. She was like, life is too short to be around people that you don't really fool with like that, don't really like you, and don't have your best interests at heart. And Candy just don't know what to do with this particular situation. You could tell that her heart's not in it, and Candy's still very much so holding on to a lot of things and that happened. What, damn, 20 years ago? I mean, damn. Do it got to be 40 years for you to finally let it go? I mean, but we wasn't there. I'm just saying. It's just like, not God. At some point, you have to just let it go, and if God brought y'all all back together, and y'all are all here to do your job, just do your job and shut up. But okay, whatever. Um, okay, so they all sat down and had a conversation. They had a rehearsal. Candy was on time. Apparently, Candy's been on time for the longest, and the other girls are late. So they all sat down and talked, and basically, this is when everything came out. um, about Xscape and about the whole falling out that they had. Apparently, the whole big issue wasn't just the whole thing that Tamika said about Candy on the radio, that she slept with Jermaine Dupri, the father, the uncle, the nephew, the cousin, the grandfather, and the neighbor. Apparently, that wasn't the only reason. That Escape broke up, and um, basically, Candy just wanted them to be honest about the whole thing. Apparently, the management team and everything, and they all came to the rest of the group members. They was just like, "Look, we trying to do the solo deal with Tasha, and Tasha done signed off on the solo deal. And if y'all don't basically get this shit together, sign this agreement that and agree to let Tasha lead all these songs, that we ain't gonna put no money into y'all, etc., etc." They felt like it wasn't right. Tasha had this whole album lined up. She had recorded all these songs. Jermaine Dupri, he left Sony, so her record never came out. And they was offering Latasha like $4 million or whatever, and that never happened. And so on one side, Latasha, she was just depressed about the whole damn thing, and she was just like, she was just upset. She was telling her husband later on in the episode she was upset. She had went through a depression and all that kind of stuff because she felt like, her dream was shattered in a way. But the other girls felt like that the Traces of My Lipstick album, which was their last album, which I was listening to earlier, um, that that was just a setup for Tasha's solo album that never came up. On Tasha's hand, she was just like, "Look, people was just coming to me. They just specifically wanted me to sing constantly, so I had to do my job." She went to Jermaine Dupri, asked him, "What does he think about the whole thing?" And he was just like, "Well, you just need to do you and just sing the songs and stuff." So it was just a whole moment. Everybody got their own version of the truth. uh I'm kind of in the middle. Well, at least I was kind of in the middle until recently, and I'll get into that a minute. um so Tiny finally spoke up on Candy's behalf. She was just like, "Yeah, I mean, they did come to us and told us that they was trying to offer us some amount of money or whatever, but if we did what we were supposed to do, we was gonna get more money and all that." But they Tamika, she didn't chime in. She was just like, "Because the last time I got in between Tasha and Candy, it was, you know, went downhill, so I'm not gonna talk about it." Like I said, Tasha had a scene where she talked about she talked with her husband, about the whole thing. Let's see. Latasha and Candy, they had a heart to heart conversation. Um, Latasha, she was just like, Candy, I really don't understand what's the issue. And Candy's biggest issue, I feel, was the fact that she felt like Tasha didn't like her, and that her and Tamika, constantly ganged up on her. That she was just constantly the outsider. Tiny was just the one that just went with the flow or whatever. They were cool with her, but she was just like, "No, I just never saw that. I had no idea about that. I came in as the big sister, yada to the yada, and I had no idea that she felt that way. I don't see how she couldn't. I mean, I've been in many situations where I felt like an outsider. I've been in many situations where I felt like my opinion didn't matter. Where I felt like I was just shunned to the side, overlooked, pushed to the side. I've never been the popular kid in school. I've never been anything like that. So um, I do understand where Candy's coming from in that sense. And this whole escape thing is it's just an uncomfortable thing for her, and it's bringing up a whole lot of more memories. She, like she was telling Todd earlier, that she has more bad memories of escape than good memories, and that's sad, because the girl's been rocking out since it was like 14 years old. Well, it's just really sad about that whole thing. So they're talking and Candy, she was just like, I just felt like y'all always ganged up on me. She started crying and, it's Candy do. And I just don't see how you could not see that. I just don't see how you could not see that. The whole thing. And, it was hugging, yada to the yada. They had another rehearsal. This one went a little better. Andrea Kelly was there, my girl, with all the ears. And this rehearsal was better. They did feel so good. Candy, Tasha, and Tiny. Before Tamika got there, they did. Do you want to? This sounded so beautiful. I was like, oh my god. Mama Joyce showed up to one of the practices, child. Apparently, Mama Joyce was just kind of like, the mother figure over all of those girls. I guess all those girls didn't have or couldn't have their mom around or whatever for whatever reason. So Mama Joyce kind of took that place, to kind of be there for all the girls. And she said she would buy them clothes and fix them sandwiches and tell them about boys and all kinds of stuff. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But they said Mama Joyce always been the same, just a straight shooter, um, just hell is she's always been apparently. They call her Aunt Joy, so that was sweet, I guess. Um, she talked about their booties. It was a cute moment, but you could tell that Candy still holds a lot of stuff that happened back in the day. And to it, and if Candy is right about everything that she says about them, um, which I feel like she's definitely right about a lot of stuff, but also, on one hand, I feel like Candy feels like she don't need them anymore. As Rocco said, that was another issue in this episode. Rocco, which is Latasha's husband, he was their boyfriend at the time during their second album, Off the Hook, and leading into Traces of My Lipstick. They were all, I guess, friends with him at one point, and once he became Latasha's manager, he kind of boosted her head up, gave her a little confidence, and kind of pushed her out in the front. I mean, but she was already a lead singer. But I could definitely see the whole favoritism thing. That shit's real. I mean, let's just be honest. It happens all the time. I mean, if you got a family member or a loved one or a partner that's in a group and you manage them. Of course, you're gonna take care of your significant other or your family member or your friend before everybody else. That's just a natural thing. It's not right, but a lot of people do it, because they can't. It's hard to find that line, between business and personal. Um, so that was another thing they talked about. Um, and of course, Latasha disagreed. She was just like they always had problems before him, and which I definitely agree with. So it's just a lot of just back and forth constantly in these little 4 episodes that we're getting. I think of this show. Um, what else happened? We got to meet Osha, which is Tamika's daughter, her oldest daughter, who's getting married soon. And she looks just like her. It's crazy. Um, and she was apparently pregnant with her during the Love on My Mind video. No, she was pregnant with her during the Love on My Mind video. They also talked about what they talked about in Unsung. Back in the day, they was all upset with Tamika for going out and getting pregnant. It was just like they felt like their career was over. Um, because one of the group members got pregnant, so it was just like, oh hell, what we supposed to do? Back then they wasn't keen on pregnancies. They tried to put her out the group. Latasha said, "No, this is my sister, and if you put her out, you put me out too." Since Latasha was the voice of the group, it was just like, "Oh hell no, we're not gonna lose you." So they worked it out, and she did her thing, had the baby, and came back, and never missed a step. And we got to meet her other daughter. I forgot her name. Um, so it's a lot, child, but that was pretty much the gist of this episode. It was a pretty cool episode. We got to know a little bit more as to why they have their friction that they definitely do have. Ultimately, I feels like it boils down to management being shady, as usually it does, and then egos on top of that, and then everybody wanted to be the lead singer and all that kind of stuff. In particular, if you notice, Candy and Latasha, one of Latasha's things was she was just like she felt like Candy, she had issues with not singing as much yada yada yada. But Candy was just like I sung on every single song since we started, except for like two songs or something, which is true. Candy has a distinctive voice. In my opinion, is Candy the best singer of the group? No, but when she's with the girls, but Candy has her own sound. And I do like her music separately, and of course with Xscape. But she has a unique voice. That's why Candy will always stand out. Candy led a lot of those songs. Feel so good. Um, she started off "You're My Little Secret." Um, I forgot the name of the song. This is a song on "Traces on My Lipstick." Was it "Run Around"? Uh, Hold on, something like that. But anyway, she led one of those songs. So Candy led a good bit of the song. They all had verses and understanding. Um, she led just kicking it. So Candy had some leads in the song. So I don't think that was it. It was just it was a combination of things. But anyway, what I was going to talk about, with all that said, was I Watch What Happens Live, and Xscape was on. All four girls was on Watch What Happens Live. So I pretty much I'm this close to being done with Candy at this point. Because we found out the girls was just talking about a lot of stuff. They got on to had Escape would have got together sooner. Had Tamika released a apology. Tamika was just like, I've apologized to her over the phone. We've talked, we've had many conversations, but Candy wanted a public apology because she's petty. But she was just like, since it was done in public, then I wanted a public apology. I'm like, okay. So I find out that Tiny, Tamika, and Latasha is creating new music. They already recording new music without Candy. Candy is just one thing I've discovered about Candy is Candy's just all about a coin. That's it. That's the whole reason why she wanted to get back together. Ranu was right. Shouts out to you, Ranu. Um, but that's the whole reason why Candy wanted to get back together because she heard about the unauthorized biopic. And she felt like we should tell our story, and she said they're all on tour. They're all agree on the tour and all that. All these people already done paid their money, including me. All that shit is set already. All that shit is already set in stone, and it ultimately boils down to money. She saw the money that could be made with Escape getting back together. She saw how quickly the first show sold out. She was just like, "Oh yeah, let me get on this," but I'm still not gonna make this my main priority because I have all this other shit going on, which she genuinely does. But she was just also there's a lot of hurt there that with that Escape thing. So I kind of knew it kind of wasn't gonna work out anyway because Candy is the. I feel like she's holding on to a lot of the shit that happened back in the day when she should just let it go. And she said in the episode that she didn't want it to affect her, but obviously it's still affecting her. But as I watch that, and I'm just like, so all three of y'all are getting back together and working on new music, which is what the fans wanted. But Candy, after all this, you're still not gonna be with the group. You're still not gonna continue on. I don't know, y'all. I don't know if they're showing us all the tea. I don't know what's going on. But when I heard that news, I was done. I was just like, yeah. I'm still gonna rock with Candy in terms of she is a good businesswoman, and on the Housewives, of course. But this whole air that I feel like she has that she's better than them because she's more successful than the rest of them are pretty much at this point. Like, and the fact that she don't want to, I don't know. Just what's the point in the show then? Like, come on, like you guys did the Essence Festival, the Detroit show. Now y'all going on tour. That's what we were all hoping was new music, or old music, or whatever the issue. But the fact that you're saying that they're recording music without you, like, do they just not want you in the group? Like, do you just not get along with them that bad? that much. Like I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments what y'all think. I rumbled a lot in this video, but I hope y'all got the gist. It's fucking crazy. It really is. It really is. I was just so hurt by that because I'm like, my God, like y'all are escaping. Y'all done did all this, came back together, and now they're getting ready to do new music. And you don't want no parts in it. Is it because you're too busy, or you just don't want to be bothered with them anymore? You've graduated from them. You've moved on. You're better than them because you're more successful. You're making more money than them. What is it? What is it? I don't know. Let's talk in the comments, child. With that said, Mr. Chalaki. Mr. Chalako, Google Plus. Follow me at It Instagram and Twitter at It 89 on Snapchat. Ooh, child. Chase King was here on Facebook. And all the good stuff. I love you guys so much.